What is going on, gamers? Aevatrex here, and today we're going to be going ahead and reviewing Skull Knight, the full review that I usually love to do for new heroes. Now, as you can tell, my Skull Knight is at 9 stars, level 161, with a 9 of 10 Vengeful Sword. Now, the talent is also a 505 Revitalize. Now, Skull Knight, as you all know, is the newest hero for IGG that just came out recently, and so we're going to go ahead and see what he can do. Now, the first thing that I want to go over is, of course, the base stats. Now, Skull Knight at 9 stars has 4,080 attack damage. Now, what does that compare to? Usually, that compares to what Warlock can dish out at around the same level. Now, one thing to note is, though, the attack speed. Warlock is at 1,200, while Skull Knight is at 600. What that usually means is that Skull Knight's damage is actually much higher, but it can be a little misleading just because he's going to be hitting so fast. Now, of course, the attack speed, it's at 600. At 600, that makes him the fastest swinging hero in the game. That used to belong to Reaper at 750, but now with Skull Knight is the fastest in the game. Another thing that he's the best at now is movement speed. He's at 390, which is crazy fast. Crazy fast. When you take into account that Harpy Queen is pretty fast. 270. And we all know about Ninja. Ninja's pretty fast. And at 7 stars, it's only at 280. Now, granted, he's at lower star level, but at around 9 or 10 stars, that can only go up to roughly about 300. Whereas Skull Knight is already at 390. That is a ton. He is going to be moving like a car with a brand new engine. Now, of course, the next thing is going to be the HP. The HP at 9 stars is about 54,000, which is comparable to Death Knight. Death Knight at a 9 star and a few higher levels will pretty much have the same HP. And we all know that Death Knight is one of the tankier heroes in the game. Now, so we basically know that Skull Knight is a tank. It's pretty much designed to be a tank. So the HP combined with the movement speed is going to keep him in front, which is basically what you want from a tank. You want him to be leading, to taking the hits, and not fall back like a paladin, for instance. So those two go together. And not only those two things go together well, but so does the skill. Let's go ahead and move on to the skill. Vengeful Sword increases Skull Knight's attack by 750%. 750! That's a ton. And limits damage taken to 4,000 per hit for 10 seconds. That is huge. That means that no matter what's hitting you, once this proc goes off, anything is just 4,000, 4,000, 4,000, which is going to take a ton of hits to even get him down. Now, it does have a 10-second cooldown, or not a 10-second cooldown. It lasts for 10 seconds, and the cooldown is 12 seconds. Which really what it means is that there's really a 2-second cooldown, because once you get this proc off, there's only going to be a 2-second window from when you proc again. Now, another thing to note about Vengeful Sword is that it procs just like Warlock, meaning that with a 505 Revive talent, as soon as the battle starts, he's going to proc. A lot of people were telling me that Revive is no good because he's a melee hero and Ares can shut him down before he even gets there. That's not the case. I'm going to go ahead and showcase that right now. Now we get this right here and take a look at his energy. Boom, he's procced already. You see the red swords by his head? That means that the proc is active. And you can already tell because he's one-shotting everything because of that damage boost that he gets. So that pretty much shows you there that he does not need to hit anything to proc. So Ares shutting him down, not with a revive, not at all. Now, again, Vengeful Sword is made pretty much to tank things, and that can be helpful in so many game modes. Now, of course, as far as the talent, Revitalize is probably one of the top talents for him, especially for PvP content. Now, if you're more of a Here Be Monsters and Hero Trials, etc., you probably might go with maybe like a Life Drain, Bulwark, Tenacity. Those are talents that will increase his health, which will actually make you take more hits. Now on mine, I actually have a Life Drain Crest set, which goes well with the Revive and everything else. But there's really not a lot of talents that he would be bad for. Like outside of like self-destruct, every talent he can actually use in a good way, as long as you put him in the right conditions. So enough about this, the talents and the skills and all of that. Let's get into some action. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do here is show you a lot of the game modes that he's really good for and showcase him how he can help you. So let's go ahead and go right into that. Alright, so on this one what we're going to be doing is trying to solo Wretched Gorge 2. Now of course with Wretched Gorge 2, we all know that there's two main things that we want to kill. We want to kill the Here Be Demon that has the Deflect, and we also want to kill those two big bosses. Now take a look at where I placed Skull Knight. I placed him all the way at the very last base, but look how fast he gets there. That can be very helpful if you usually have a Pumpkin Duke that dies. He would usually get right in front and would be the ones to take the damage instead of Pumpkin Duke. Like look how fast he got over there. Now we got a back pop there, but it was fine just because Pumpkin Duke had a few procs going off. But just look at this speed. He looks like he's skating out there. That's really what it looks like. It just looks like he's just going out there and skating. Now you see the chat there on the right because I recorded this on a live stream. Now here comes the Here Be Demon. He procs. He's gonna deflect damage, which is gonna hurt, but we take him down. The only issue is that was it. There goes Pumpkin Duke. You see that grave there on the left hand side? That's Pumpkin Duke. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to celebrate our way out of this. Now they start hitting walls, which is okay with me because that means that they'll be able to take more hits. But once they clear those walls, they'll be able to reach my heroes, which is not a good thing. But once they move up, my Skull Knight and my Druid and Cupid are able to move up as well. And look at the damage the Skull Knight is doing every swing. That is a ton of damage. Now, of course, my Vlad is the one tanking the damage right now, but Vlad doesn't have any skill to lower damage, and there he goes. Now, they turn over to Skull Knight, and he's barely taking any damage. Like, look. The proc goes off, but even though it went off, he's still just healing back with Life Drain. So imagine. That is crazy. That can save a run. If something happens where you lose your Pumpkin Dukes, this guy can tank the boss for you. That is crazy. Now, of course, Here Be Monsters. Very, very popular game mode in the game. Now, on this one, I'm mainly just leveling up duplicates. But take a look at this. We're going to go ahead and successfully complete wave P4. Now, here comes P5. Take a look at what happens. We get a side spawn, which is... The boss is pretty much... This is a one-on-one, pretty much. The boss and Skull Knight. Just look at this. He barely knows that the boss is there. And look how much damage he is doing. He just doesn't care. Look at this. He just soloed the boss right there. We get one swing from Death Knight, but that was it. So again, that's his major use in Here Be Monsters. If you're having trouble with a boss at the end, he will definitely help you with that. No doubt about it. Now, dungeons. Take a look at this. 57 shard dungeon. This is pretty much 3-man, but Maltanica and Pumpkin Duke, I don't really care about. I just want to see how he does with this dungeon. Is he able to take care of the boss? Is he able to also take care of the heroes that are down there? Let's see. Now, with the Pumpkin Duke stack, he's actually able to go ahead and tank the boss and with the Maltanica debuff. Now, here's a problem. There's a lot of stuff going on in this dungeon. There's a lot of troops. There's a lot of bombs. There's a lot of heroes. Can Maltanica, Pumpkin Duke, and him do it by themselves? Now, the problem with Pumpkin Duke here is those bombs. Pumpkin Duke is definitely susceptible to die to the bombs, and he just died to the bombs. I tried to throw him a heal, but unfortunately, Pumpkin Duke is done. So now it's up to Maltanica and Skull Knight. Now, as we all know, Maltanica really isn't... He's not going to be clearing a lot of towers very fast. He's mainly good for the debuff. But take a look at this. Once he procs, and you can tell he procs with the little red swords above him, he just starts whacking at buildings and one-shotting them, two-shotting them. It's crazy. Now, if you farm this dungeon, you know that the Reaper is the most scariest things in there. But look at that. He just kills it like nothing was even there. I think he probably killed him in what, 2 hits? That was crazy. Now again, look at the difference from when he doesn't have his proc to when he does. He's gonna one-shot the building, boom, done. And there he goes, he procs again because like I mentioned earlier, he procs like a warlock. And here comes Succubus, here comes Paladin, but they don't really stand a chance. I mean, he just pretty much two-shotted Paladin. There goes Druid up there killing Moltanica. Moltanica was not up to par. So really, it's all up to Skull Knight here. Can he do it? We only got less than a minute, and he still has a ton of things to kill. Of course, the Druid goes ahead and dies in just a few hits. And just a few hits for him really only takes a couple of seconds just because of how fast he swings. So now this is just cleanup duty because a tower isn't going to kill him because of, first of all, his HP is so high and he life drains his HP back. Now, we only got 30 seconds. Are we ever going to do that? Of course we will. He has 390 movement speed, which essentially just means that he's going to be skating around this dungeon. Look at this. Any other hero, and they probably don't have enough time just because they wouldn't be able to move fast enough. But not this guy. He gets in there and that's it. 57 shards, victory. Now, the next one that I'm going to be showcasing here is the very last dungeon in Insane Dungeon, the first wave. Now, this is the 69 shard dungeon. I lead with Skull Knight here because essentially he's going to limit the damage that he takes without putting initially the GA. So that buys me a couple of seconds. Now after that happens, it pretty much just a case of making sure that he is the one that's being targeted by the towers. And then after that is just cake. There it is. Done. Now this one is in Lost Realm. Now we all know that this team is one of the hardest teams to beat. So I put him up in front to see how much he can tank and how much damage he can take. So let's go ahead and see. He pretty much got engaged by everybody, but he came out with full health. Like nothing even happened. He didn't take any damage just because his proc didn't allow it. So again, let's go ahead and do another instance of this. This isn't the same. It's pretty much another instance of the same team and see if anything changes. Maybe it was just luck. Nope. Look at his health. Still pretty much at full health, which is crazy. That is crazy ridiculous for Lost Realm, and that can help you in a lot of things. Now, of course, for Arena. Now, this is on defense. Look at this. This was me against Brendan. Now, we were pretty much just testing him out and see how he would do. He just ran right through my team right here. Look at that. And he was on this. That one's only 148. That is crazy. Now, on this one, I am on defense. I'm going middle. And let's take a look at what he does right here. He's just one-shotting and two-shotting heroes. It doesn't even matter. And then, of course, once he gets to the altar, he pretty much just goes right back to full HP. Now, again, this is me attacking. And I get stunned. But look at this. Look at this. It doesn't matter. I'm able to tank the whole thing. Wow. That is nuts. Who would live that Sanaboom proc and continue to tell that story? Not many. Now here, I'm going to be attacking. He gets hit with that Ares proc, but like I was mentioning before, just because Ares procs doesn't mean that he's going to get shut down. Look at this. Look at this. With any other hero in that situation, I lose. But look, life drain. Look at this. Santa, get out of here, Santa. Not good enough. Not good. And then he just goes ahead and heals right back up. That is nuts. That is crazy. To be able to take a Sanaboom proc like that with barely any health, that is just ridiculous. And look, he's full health like nothing happened. He's just like, la, la, la. Yep, yep, yep. That is a head-to-head monster in Arena. That is ridiculous right there. Now, the next one is going to be me on offense. Now, he gets hit on this one, but because he's already has the proc on him, it doesn't really matter. There he goes. He's able to tank all of the damage, and there she goes. And look at this. He's at full HP. After all of that, he's at full HP. Ridiculous. Now again, here we go. Look at this. He gets stunned, which is probably one of his weaker points. He is not immune to stun like Orc's Bane, but if he was, he would just be ridiculous. So you can try and stun him, but the thing is, even if you do stun him, you still have to kill him, and that in itself is not easy at all. Now take a look at how many hits he actually takes to go ahead and clear this whole team out. Just a few. Oh, they want no. Sorry. You're not doing enough damage to actually take him out. Look at this. The life drain is keeping him in contention, and then boom. Goodbye. And then he's just gonna go in there and heal himself back up like nothing ever happened. Now on this one, one thing to note about him in arena is that he's a little too fast. Now he dies there, but he comes back like, he's like, oh, that's right. I was supposed to die there, right? Nope. But like I was saying, for arena, he is a little too fast a lot of times, so it's good to complement him with another team that has high sprint. That's definitely something that you want to be looking out for in this case. Because if you don't, he can run up too far ahead and then you would just die. Of course, when you're attacking, you can control that by placing him on the pad all the way in the back while you place your initial heroes all the way in the front. That kind of mitigates that. Now look at this. It's only Sanaboom and him left. So what's going to happen here? He kills him, but look. He doesn't care. He takes this damage like nothing. Look. Here we go again. He gets hit by Ares, but it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. He basically, with him leading, even this Vlad doesn't stand a chance. Because even if you kill him, look, he comes back like, okay, round 2. Now, here we go head to head. Now, is he any good in head to head? Well, the answer to that is he's okay. Look at the damage that he's doing. He's already pretty much taken about half of the altar. And that allows your team to maybe have a chance, especially with a Pumpkin Duke. He can do a lot of damage with a Pumpkin Duke stack on him. Now on this one, he's just pretty much leading the charge. He takes so much damage away from your team that you don't have to worry about half of the stuff that you would initially. So again, here we go. Look. He's just destroying the team before they can even get to him. That is ridiculous. Now, is he a must-have hero in arena? I don't think so. I don't think he's a must-have hero, but then again, nowadays, with so many different options, there's hardly a must-have hero outside of like Ares and Warlock. Every other hero you can pretty much change and have success and have bad runs. So it really just depends. So here we go. Last run. I believe this is the last run. He just, look at all the damage that he's soaking in from everybody else. And it just doesn't matter. That is definitely crazy. So here we go. Very last run right here. Look at the minnow. They just don't stand a chance. That is crazy. So after seeing him in all of those game modes and pretty much how he can be helpful in so many situations, now the question becomes, is he worth it? If you can get your hands on him, I believe that he's one of the most powerful heroes that have been released since Vlad and Sanaboom. Now I know that that's saying a lot, but this hero is just that good and he's that versatile. He can literally save you when you think you are defeated, which is crazy. Now, a lot of the heroes that have been coming out lately, like the Triantars, the Pixies, Death Knights, etc., those are heroes that are pretty situational. It depends on the situation to see if you would want to use them. But Skull Knight is definitely a he's just above them. I would definitely rank him in the ranks of the Pumpkin Dukes, Cupids, Vlads, Sanabooms of the world, even Maltanicas. He is up there as a top tier hero in my book because he is just that powerful, and he definitely, I believe, would be considered a quote unquote must have hero. You have him on your team, and he can take you a long way. Now, one thing to know with the Vengeful Sword is that at low levels, it really won't help you too much. So this is one of the key things that you want to take up. You want to take up to at least 7 or 8 of 10 for you to actually see a lot of improvement and a lot of tanking from him. So that's pretty much my review on him. Let me know in the comment section if you agree or if you disagree, and let me know what you disagree and what you agree on, because I definitely do think that this hero here stacks up to the likes of Vlad and Sanaboom, the top tier heroes pretty much. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys, and until later. Bye!